Welcome back to Jfabe. My name is Rich. I'm at Not a timeduke. At Not a timeduke on Twitter. Jay is at I am not a robot. Where the O's are replaced with zeros. But only the word robot. I'm also Shmup Yours. We're on Jfabe Wrestling Podcast on Twitch. We're also available on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. You can join us on anchor.fm/Jfabe. You can also join us on iTunes. You can join us anywhere you want, or you can join us live and get to see great things like that take that was Spotify. We're on Spotify, or you can join us live and get to witness things like that fantastic take we've just done, where I threw a tantrum because a dog was barking in the background. That was fun. So moving on, Randy Orton, The Fiend, with Alexa Bliss in a singles match. Starting off night 2, WrestleMania 37. Jay, thoughts? First off, The Fiend changed his outfit. He's no longer wearing a burlap sack. He's now back to what he was. What was the point of him being off TV? What was the point of him being off TV for that long?
Yeah, no, I mean, they could have built it with Bray Wyatt on TV since after Royal Rumble. They could have brought him back. They could have built it that way. He could have come back in that suit for a while, even though it was crap, and built it that way, and then have him change at WrestleMania instead of him just coming out of a Jack in the Box after him walking down what looked like an entrance ramp to go to the entrance ramp, but it wasn't. It was just an entrance to a box.
It was an interesting situation, of course. There was a box. He walked through what was effectively like a metal tube with grates around it. As the beef jerky Fiend, and then magically changed from Pepper Army Bray Wyatt back into the Fiend Bray Wyatt, using a very, very poor kind of visual effect, which, as you know, we're big fans of good visual effects here. We use great visual effects.
All the time.
We're fantastic with our visual. Yeah, this is like a WrestleMania quality production. Why change him back? What's the fucking point? Why did we fucking bother? What the hell are you smoking, Vince? Jay, thoughts?
I like the fact that they changed him back because obviously that gives him that unstoppable feel again. And I think going to WrestleMania, I don't think the crowd would have really took to the burnt-up Fiend. So it was better for the visual for him to be coming out as the normal Fiend. Also to sell masks.
Yeah, to sell masks. I mean, it's a slightly different mask, so it sells the slightly different mask with the slightly brighter face. And you're right. He would have. It kind of renews the character and gets him ready to obviate. So the logical thing when you've kind of renewed the character, kind of said, okay, what's behind is now undone. Fair play, logical thing. You have him lose to a distraction finish from the person who you've been building up as his mentor and ally for the last 6 months, right? Because that's how you tell a wrestling fucking story, isn't it?
Excellently. Yeah. But she did pop up out of the box with her legs crossed, wearing a Aleister Black looking jacket, whilst having black going down her face.
Yeah, and wearing a crown of thorns or barbed wire in this case. And yeah, it was fine. But she distracted Bray Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt lost, and Randy Orton got the win. Apparently, according to Wrestlemania, as well as Wrestle Talk, this was not going to be the finish. And then it was. This was one of the 2 matches where the finish was changed on the day. I'm unsure.
I imagine the Fiend was going to go over.
Sorry, say again?
I imagine the Fiend was going to go over.
Yeah.
Say that she tapped into this as well.
Yeah, I mean, it could very well be that the Fiend was going to go over and join with Alexa Bliss as a character, and they felt that wasn't the direction they wanted to go in. Or alternatively, they just decided they probably had a different way to... I think originally what was going to happen was that Bray Wyatt was going to fall over as he got out of the Jack-in-a-Box, clown music was going to play.
Okay.
Yeah, into an RKO. Clown music was then going to play. Vince McMahon was going to skip down to the ring, take a giant dump on all of the hard work that Bray Wyatt had done for the last 2 years, and then put him off TV for another 6 months. I think that was the original plan. While obviously Randy Orton ascended to the heavens as the next coming of Buddy Rogers that we all know he is.
I mean, that sounds like a solid plan.
Yeah, no, I've solved it. I've solved it. What is the point of the Fiend at this stage? Is there anything left of the Fiend, do you feel?
Well,
like that initial, okay, Bray Wyatt's on for another 5-year contract. He's got this absolutely fire gimmick.
Alexa Bliss has got a promo, and she's like feuding with the darkness whilst also embracing the darkness at the same time.
Oh, okay.
And she has a new friend called Lily, who is a doll. Would have been better if we called it Ali, right?
That would have been nice, but please continue.
Because then they could have bring Aleister Black, obviously, bring him back onto TV, and obviously have him face the Fiend. Obviously, then Aleister Black become more dark within his character, which is basically the way he was going after he lost his eye.
Yeah.
His eye got damaged. So,
and then they just took him off TV. Hate it when they abort storylines like that.
So why not bring him back to face the Fiend as being under control of Alexa Bliss?
Well, why not? Yeah. But they're not going to do that. We know they're not going to do that. That's what everyone wants. That's the one thing we know that could save it. But what do you think is instead going to happen? Let's work Vince magic here, where you have this red hot gimmick that everybody loved, but rather than actually just letting it play out, you instead debut it
as Fiend versus Girl.
Yeah, an intergender match between him and Lily.
Or just let Alexa Bliss, who isn't Lily.
Well,
someone else is Lily.
No, because that's not stupid enough for a Bray Wyatt gimmick, right? That's not career-ending enough for a Bray Wyatt gimmick. That's not, let's shit all over this merchandising opportunity with shitloads of goof for a Bray Wyatt gimmick. This is a man who's been defeated by Randy Orton 3 times, twice at WrestleMania, and in both times in appalling matches where the gimmicks have ruined it. Like, the one thing Bray Wyatt can do as a character now, if he was actually watching tape, would be to stop doing gimmicks. Because every time he does gimmicks in matches, he loses. Like, just have him walk down to... Maybe that's the conclusion to this story. Maybe Bray Wyatt goes through all this bullshit and then, one week, decides to come down to the ring as Husky Harris and wins the WWE Championship. Maybe that's where this is heading. Because I can see nowhere else for it to go. They are just shitting on this guy. Like, there is no creativity here. It's just, what can we do to make sure that his character has enough aura to be a threat, but not enough aura to actually win any fucking matches? And that's what they've been doing with it.
It was like Undertaker aura.
It was like Undertaker aura, and then he lost. So what, we're going to have a losing streak? Is that how we're going to do this? Is he going to be the Gilbert to the Undertaker's Goldberg? Is that what's happening?
Does he have to rebuild himself, like within his own universe, to build his powers up back again? Is that something? Was he too weak to face Randy Orton at the time?
No, he was just distracted by a Papa Shango level special effect.
With his hand reaching out.
Fucking pathetic. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Natalia and Tamina in a tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Match that lasted 14 minutes and 20 seconds. I didn't like the Fiend match, by the way. What do you feel about this tag team match, Jay?
Pretty far.
Pretty subpar.
Tamina had a good showing.
Yeah, Tamina did have quite a good showing. I've noticed that Tamina is doing the snooker dive.
What's the finisher? Doing that for ages.
Yeah, but she's like they're actually emphasizing it now with the snooker, and they're actually acknowledging that it's a snooker move. How long has that been going on? Did we forget that Jimmy Superfly Snuka was convicted for murder, or what's going on?
Well, they clearly have. I mean, maybe they didn't watch Dark Side of the Ring in season 2.
Perhaps they didn't. Dark Side of the Ring is coming soon again.
I remember now.
Yeah.
It is. Brian Pillman.
I'm really looking forward to Dark Side of the Ring. Season 3. It's fantastic. The whole season. What did you say, sorry?
When he got David Arquette, where he got completely fucked up by Nick Gage. That's on there as well.
Nice. I mean, I am looking forward to it. The Dark Side of the Ring is fantastic. Both seasons are great. It's commentated by Chris Jericho or narrated by Chris Jericho. If you haven't seen it, it's available in the US on Vice TV. In the UK, it's available as a box set on 4OD. You can watch the entire series on 4OD. Both seasons, season 1, season 2, uncut. The entire thing. It is fantastic. If you're a wrestling fan, get out your way for it, because it is possibly the best documentaries available about wrestling.
And Jim Cornette's actually gold on that as well.
What did you say, sorry?
Jim Cornette's gold on that.
Yeah, Jim Cornette's great. Jim Cornette is a complicated character. However, his performance in that is great. Sorry, I had to correct myself there. And I think the important thing to focus on is that we're talking about WrestleMania 37 here, and yet we chose to talk about a TV series which is 2 years old now, rather than continue to talk about Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Natalya and Tamina, which was...
Who won the match, by the way?
It was Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. They defeated Natalya and Tamina via technical submission, apparently. I wasn't paying attention because...
A rear naked choke.
Yeah, pretty much. I wasn't paying too much attention to this match.
Natalya was boxing the sharpshooter. Shayna Baszler was the legal woman. Came in, popped on a finisher, tapped out. There we go. Ding ding.
Yeah. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler in a really weird state.
No one booed. There was just no reaction.
Well, they were tired after that.
Throughout the whole match.
They were tired after a 6-hour The Fiend entrance. So, that was probably what did it. But yeah, no, it was a fairly flat match. It wasn't that interesting. I think out of all of
15,000 people on night 2. Just going to throw in some numbers there.
Well, WWE are claiming that it was the same amount of people, exactly the same amount of people, both nights. That's their claim. I think your estimate of about 15,000 is probably a bit better, a bit more accurate. But they are claiming that it was 25,675 on both nights. I severely doubt it. I really do. But you never know. It didn't feel like it was that many people. If I'm utterly honest, it felt a lot less than that. But then it's a really big stadium. It was a fairly good audience, but it did feel.
I wasn't on the hard count for night 2. He wasn't there.
He wasn't there at all. He wasn't there, or if he was disguised as a guy in a clown mask. So potentially. All in all, this Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler match, I think to sum Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler up, it's like WWE started them off in their standard, how will they ever work together, number one contender and champion kind of duo, and then somebody forgot... somebody forgot that the CD was skipping, so Michael Cole still proposes that they will have trouble working together every time they're in the ring, and they work like one of the most solid female tag teams ever to lace up a pair of boots at this stage. So it's a very, very strange situation. Just every match they throw in a "what are you doing" at each other, and then just carry on. Like they're constantly teasing a breakup that they know will never happen because WWE has fuck all else for them. It's a very interesting situation. They are like their tag team should be called Holding Pattern. But hey, at least
the tag team division in NXT for the women hasn't been going that long, and they've got it on lockdown.
Yeah, I mean, I think that shows
It's already been on the main show.
Shows the difference in booking mentality between the two, though, doesn't it? Triple H plans his stories. They do not in WWE when it comes to tag teams. They just throw two single stars together and make them fight the New Day. Or, in this case, with the women, just throw two single stars together and see what happens.
Anyone thought of this idea? I don't think anyone's thought of this yet, but maybe, just maybe, Triple H should run the main roster.
That would be good. However, I believe the only way that he can possibly do that is if he harvests the youth crystal from the back of Vince McMahon's left hand and manages to make the psychic crystal that's holding him active. Which is actually tied to like this giant fungus that's growing in a cave somewhere in the 39th century. Like he has to go and defeat that because that's psychically controlling the puppet that is Vince McMahon and has been for the last 20 years.
So who's the person behind that?
Who's the person behind that? Oh, Linda in a wheelchair.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the story.
It's gonna happen.
Jfabe season 6.
Yeah, that was the Jfabe season 6 preview for all of you. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn with Logan Paul. Do you know what a Logan Paul is?
Apparently, a Logan Paul is something to do with that guy who looks like Logan Paul but is older. What's his name?
Jake Paul.
No, not his brother.
Oh.
He's an actor. He does stuff with Ben Stiller. Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson. Yeah, he did have a very Owen Wilson thing going on, didn't he? Yeah.
He's Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
That's who's playing him. It's Owen Wilson. It's not actually Paul Logan. It's just Owen Wilson.
Really?
Is it Owen Wilson?
I don't know. I can't tell now whether you're working me or not.
Just playing a part.
Yeah. It's there are just layers and layers of kayfabe here on Jfabe. What do you think to this match between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens?
Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. It was a safe bet. It was build up as absolute balls, but you knew they was going to deliver on the night. As they always do.
I think they delivered as well as they could with 9 minutes and 20 seconds. It shocks me that they only got 9 minutes and 20 seconds after Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, and Natalya and Tamina got 14 minutes and 20 seconds. I mean, I know they needed time to get their shit in, but at the same time, kind of feel that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn could have done better with that time.
I thought they maximised their time. Difference.
No. I don't. Sorry. I mean, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn could have been done better with the 5 minutes that they could have got off Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. I think that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn definitely maximised their time, but I wish they had more time to maximise, and I think there were definitely places on this card where that could have happened. The preceding match being a good example.
Somebody else, maybe Biggie and Apollo Crews.
Yeah. I mean, Biggie and Apollo Crews was a good match, but it only lasted 6 minutes and 50 seconds. We'll get onto that fairly shortly. But yeah, no, Kevin Owens, Sami.
I thought it was much longer than that. Okay, never mind.
No, it just felt longer.
It did feel longer. Anyway.
Yeah.
So you get all the classic spots from Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn that they used to do back in the day.
Yeah.
So they just did the greatest hits, really. But
yeah, and it was
worked.
It was fine because I mean the story was about Sami Zayn and his conspiracy, right? So just the classics set to the backdrop of this new story about Sami Zayn made sense.
And now it's crazier than ever.
He is gone fairly crazy. Towards the end of the match, of course, Sami Zayn lost to Kevin Owens after a string of stunners. It felt a bit short as a result, but then when Logan Paul did the apparently graceful thing of congratulating Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn tried to attack him. Kevin Owens then defended Logan Paul and then did a stunner to kind of see the segment out on Logan Paul. And Logan Paul took it like a guy who was getting a lot of money for taking a stunner. Yeah, it was alright.
Yeah, if he went forward, he may have hurt himself. You never know.
Well, we can pray. What I am thankful for, though, is that WWE managed to realise who they were dealing with, and although they did sit him next to the commentary table, they didn't give him a headset because Well, how long do you reckon it would have been before he was promoting non-WWE YouTubes on there? About 35 seconds. Yeah. Would have been like... Basically, they just wanted to make sure that they didn't have him on there and, him all of a sudden start showing people...
Away from the match.
Yeah, or taken away from the match, promoting video... Promoting his own matches, but
he's going to face Floyd Mayweather in a boxing match. That would not happen. If it does happen, it will get knocked.
It will happen because that's one of those things that he does. So previously, he's fought KSI twice in a white collar amateur boxing match. He's a British YouTuber. Whose real name I'm not going to attempt to say. Wow, that has more vowels in it than an episode of Countdown. But all in all, yeah, Logan Paul won that, to be fair. So yeah, he started shooting his mouth off about Floyd Mayweather Jr. Was supposed to happen in February. It was postponed to an unspecified date. On the back of that, what else can you say about him? Well, he's red-green colourblind. That's an interesting little fact. And he also has no sense of taste, judging by some of the outfits that I'm looking at. He's also had numerous pieces of controversy. The major controversy, which I think is an interesting thing that they didn't have him on night one, considering the discussion about bullies. But on December the 31st, 2017, he uploaded a vlog to his YouTube channel depicting the recently deceased corpse of a man who had died by hanging himself in the Akogahara at the base of Mount Fuji, known as the Suicide Forest, as a suicide site. It was initially part of his Tokyo Adventure series, but effectively him and his group decided to laugh about it and have a lot of fun about it, and then got 6.3 million views on his site within 24 hours before it was taken down and people notified the authorities. So he's no stranger to controversy, as he has 2 separate chapters on his Wikipedia page about controversy. YouTube suspended all advertising on his channels due to a pattern of behaviour, including the Tide Pod Challenge, which includes removing fish from his pond to jokingly give it CPR, and tasering dead rats on his YouTube channel. So yeah, there's your wholesome WWE celebrity entertainer Logan Paul. If you didn't know anything about him, now you wish you don't know anymore.
Sounds like a big tool. Right.
Yeah, it's pretty much a prick. Sheamus, Riddle. Speaking of complete tools, Riddle and Sheamus. Singles match, WWE United States Championship. Now, I've heard a rumour that this 10-minute and 50-second match was really a vehicle to get the belt off Riddle, as he was never supposed to hold it in the first place, but he was the only choice they had. Have you heard this rumour?
Because Keith Lee got injured.
Yeah, because Keith Lee got injured. Yeah. Almost like he ended up with the belt around his waist without his consent.
I don't think we can go down that road. I think we made a point last time.
Yeah, you're right, actually. We can't go down that road because we haven't got a white van. Google it. Anyway, Riddle. And Sheamus, what do you think to this match? First off, what's with those birds?
What birds?
So Riddle kicks his shoes off, right? And as he kicks his sandals off, like the hobo he is, a load of CGI birds fly at the screen. Genuinely a thing that happened. One with an eye patch on. And Samoa Joe says something about he gets all the birds, or something ridiculous like that seemed to make no sense. And that was it. Just never mentioned again. I didn't know if this was some kind of weird gimmick that's going on, or...
No.
Could it have been a Cocodamol hallucination? Because I'm starting to wonder if it was. It definitely happened. Go back and watch it. It's weird. It is just a weird moment. Like, I don't know. Almost like, you know, those weird CGI things that they're throwing around, like the ghost ship and the skeleton with the sword. Like, it's almost like they're starting to take over for a second. I don't get it. But go back and watch it. It's there. It's just after he kicks off his sandals. Like it's a thing they're trying to make happen, and I don't get it.
Right, I will go back and watch it because I do not remember that.
It's really peculiar.
Right, so...
yeah, thoughts on this?
Maybe it was so bad I just blocked it from my mind.
You may have done. Thoughts on this match?
Another great match. Another great match. I mean, for me, it was... Sheamus has been solid all year round. Sheamus has been solid since his feud with Jeff Hardy and the matches that they've had. So for me, it was more like give a reward for Sheamus to have this title because of the matches that he's had. So it was set up crap. He just hit him in the stomach with his scooter. And that's how we got this match. So, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
the bit was a bit footwork. He got sandbags and then he hit the jackhammer for a near fall.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird one.
Are we gonna get Riddle versus Goldberg at any point, even though Goldberg hates Riddle?
I don't think Goldberg would want to work with Riddle. To be honest,
probably not. Neither does Brock.
Yeah, no one really wants to work with Riddle. And I think Riddle's situation is a bit of a difficult one at the moment. The impression that I'm getting is that WWE want to keep him away from a title picture, but keep him on TV just in case. You know what they're like. It was an alright match. I don't mind him as a wrestler. I don't particularly like him as a gimmick. He did have a backstage... Yeah, they would. He did have a fairly good backstage segment with Rob Van Dam and Carly. That was all right. But it was more just Riddle being a goof and riding around.
RVD got some rolling papers now.
Yeah. Got some rolling papers. That 420. Just plugging that in. It was good fun.
You better do that with than Riddle, I guess.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was all right. It was just Riddle being Riddle. Nigerian drum fight, WWE Intercontinental Championship. Thoughts on this bad boy?
Yeah, the match was good for Riddle and Sheamus, and obviously the match ended with a bro kick as Riddle was doing a moonsault.
Yeah, that was quite a good spot. He did, and it kind of seemed to dislocate his face. Like just his whole
I think he was
face.
just bleeding from his. I think it might be his tongue, to be fair.
Oh, fair play. It didn't look very pleasant. Good.
But best bro kick I've seen in a while. I think a lot of people listen to the Jericho podcast and took a lot of tips from what he said and what he does, because you saw a lot of that come through in Wrestlemania. So I think a lot of people
Yeah,
who was involved in WrestleMania took a few things from what Jericho said and really took it in.
Yeah, it was quite obvious that they had. What were your thoughts on the Jericho podcast just before we go on to Apollo Crews and Big E?
Pretty standard. I think it was good that they mentioned AEW and how it all started, and he even mentioned in it that it was WWE versus AEW, and Stone Cold's face was like, "Ooh, we don't think he said that." Like his face was like, "Oh no, he said that."
Yeah, there was
a
moment of that. There was definitely a moment of that where it was acknowledged, but the career retrospective section, which took up the bulk of the show, really well told stories, really well put together. Definitely one of my favourite Stone Cold podcast.
It may be the best one.
Yeah, I would say it's between that, Randy Orton, and the Undertaker's, and I think. I didn't think Randy Orton would be up there for podcast attendees, but his Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast was again just fantastic. But Jericho in particular, thoroughly enjoyed the stories about him attempting to make anything work. The stories about him in AEW and his move over to AEW. The reading between the lines of it appeared to be his frustration. It's what he said openly on his own podcast, but just in a much more subtle way. But the ongoing thread that is painted there is a rift between him and Vince McMahon, coming off the back of Vince McMahon. He feels both underutilizing him and overproducing his talent, and fostering an environment where people don't have the freedom to be creative. And I think the biggest part of that was him. He's said this numerous times on his podcast, and he said it on this podcast as well, which I think was great. Was saying that when he first worked in New Japan Pro Wrestling and he talked to Kenny Omega, he said, "What are we going to do tonight? Who do we have to approve what we're doing tonight?" And Kenny Omega said, "No one. We just do it." And he said that when he realized that was what everyone else was doing, it made wrestling fun again. And that to me is kind of the sticking point, and that's what you get on his podcast, because he does exit interviews from the WWE with a lot of the stars who end up in AEW, and a lot of the stars who ended up in Impact as well. But the Good Brothers have echoed that sentiment. The Brody Lee echoed that sentiment. FTR.
Why did the Good Brothers keep wrestling WWE style matches if they wanted more freedom?
I think that's a creative decision, I guess, but I'm not 100% sure, if I'm utterly honest. But maybe it just so happened that they wanted to wrestle that way. They just didn't want someone to tell them how to wrestle that way, perhaps. But they did say that it made wrestling fun again, and Matt Hardy agreed with this. Obviously, our thoughts go out to the Hardy compound tonight for their recent loss. But yeah, all in all, it seems to be an ongoing theme with most of Jericho's work, is that wrestling is fun again for him because he no longer works for WWE. And it was very interesting, I felt.
I guess it just goes back to the start of his career when he was coming up and creating all this crazy shit that he did. And he can do that again. So...
And yeah, I definitely respect Chris Jericho one hell of a lot. I think he is. He was right in summing himself up as a certain breed and generation of wrestler. And I think he's definitely kind of cemented himself in history, not only with that podcast but with his career. So yeah, it was a great retrospective, and I don't think he'll need to appear on the show again. Unless something big happens, which with Chris Jericho you never fucking know. This time next month he might be lighting up ROH for no reason. You know, Chris Jericho's a bloke who can do anything, right?
Yeah, he is.
Um,
Yes, he is.
So moving on.
Back to WrestleMania.
Indeed. Nigerian drum fight. This was Apollo Crews, Big E, Nigerian drum fight for WWE Intercontinental Championship. Now, considering that this only got 6 minutes and 50 seconds, this is one of those situations where
came out swinging.
they really did come out swinging, and that was really good. I believe there was a bit of business outside the ring before it started as well to kind of extend the feel of the match a bit. Is that correct? Or am I thinking of a different match?
Yeah. Big E started with the kendo stick, wearing the ripped Crews before sending him crashing into the drums at the ringside. So yeah, that's where the drums came in.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
the only times the drums were used.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that like they pretty much they said Nigerian drum fight would sound really, really good. Let's go with this. And then they forgot that there's not very much you can do with Nigerian drums, right? It's like,
apart from throw someone into them. So yeah.
Yeah, there was no. That's the funny thing. It struck me as the idea came before the match. Like, you know, what's Nigeria famous for? Drums. All right, let's have a Nigerian drum match. Sorry, Nigerian drum match.
His own match. Who's gonna win?
Yeah,
it's pretty obvious.
It was pretty obvious.
Been building really for the last month.
Yeah, Apollo Crews. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but at the same time, what was the fucking point? Just have a hardcore match.
Great showing, but yeah, it was a hardcore match. Great showing by both of them. Very disappointed about Dabi running with his new name. Forgotten his name. The guy from Raw Underground. So now he's back into the picture, but he's with Apollo Crews now, so he's got a big man beside him. So you've got like an AJ Styles, almost kind of thing going on, but one on Raw and one on SmackDown. So
yeah,
think of new stuff, WWE. Think of new stuff.
Yeah, there is kind of a hype man thing going off. Commander Aziz, as he is known, which is played by Babatunde Ayagbusi, who, as we know, was
a basketball player.
Dabakato, yes, and he was indeed an offensive tackle in NFL, somewhere in NFL. Minnesota Vikings also had
played football and basketball.
Yes, NFL, Minnesota Vikings, but also other things as well. Dresden Monarchs, Polish American Football League. I mean, he's done quite a bit there, and then he's like one of those people. I think he's got the look. WWE have wanted to insert him for quite a while. He was Dabakato. Before then, he was accompanying Lio Rush to the ring for NXT live events until Rush was called up to the main roster as part of 205 Live. This is back in September of 2016. Other than that, he's not made many appearances, other than being one of the guys on Raw Underground, and in the 2020 draft, he was drafted to the Raw band, but he only existed really on paper at that point. And now everyone's pretending that didn't happen, and that he is Commander.
Isaac Yankem never happened. So.
Well, exactly. He's Commander Aziz. You know, just some Nigerian kind of dude. Who's like a commander, I guess. Did we get any gimmick from him?
Apart from the commander bit, no. Not really.
No, not really. He looks like basically if Kurgan and Craig Charles had a baby at the moment.
Kurgan and Craig Charles.
Yeah.
You mean Craig Charles from Red Dwarf?
Yeah, Mr. Lister.
Oh yeah, the hair, yeah, I get it.
Works quite well. Yeah, I get jokes. Rhea Ripley and Asuka in a singles match for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. Thoughts on this, Jay?
Well, they saw the one from the night before, so they thought they'd have to kick it up a gear. It wasn't as good, but it did flow quite well. It's a shame that Asuka did lose at WrestleMania yet again. I mean, Rhea Ripley came into this with absolutely fuck all momentum, nothing,
Yeah, she really
and then
did.
gets to WrestleMania title. Like
It's
she was on a
almost
losing
like
streak in NXT. She was on TV for about a month or two. Comes into Raw, places her into a tag match with Asuka for her just to attack Asuka to build up the match after she agreed to it, and then it's WrestleMania we go, and it's just like, well, I mean, yeah, no, she does deserve a title, but not right now. At least build her up on Raw first.
well, yeah. I mean, it's almost like they're pretty much. It's almost like they're pretty much just kind of working on the back of her work at the Royal Rumble, effectively, right? I mean,
Oh, and also Survivor Series from 2 years ago.
yeah. It's like they're trying to pick up where
year
they
ago.
left off, which is fine, but then don't bury her effectively on your interim TV. Like, it's not that hard. All in all, though, wasn't a bad match. In fact, it was one of the better matches of the weekend as far as I was concerned. It wasn't great, but it was a good match. The only real problem was, as often happens with Rhea Ripley, is that she was outshined by the phenomenal booking around Bianca Belair, who is really the only contemporary to compare her to at the moment. Did some fairly good work with... Yeah, go on.
Been in the game a lot longer, but their styles are fairly different because obviously she's a much bigger wrestler than Bianca Belair. So obviously she's got more of the big person kind of style moves. But their contrast, if Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley were to have a match now, would be quite interesting.
Yeah, very much so. Her theme music is pretty fantastic, and that was put together quite nicely. However, the performance that we got, the live performance that we got, was not so great. It was an interesting mixture of lip syncing, karaoke, and dubbing, and didn't come across too well. But all in all, I think most of that was just bad sound editing. You are right, though. I think the Rhea Ripley story is pretty much going to be Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, two rising stars eventually clash. And I think that is the interesting story there.
Champion.
Potentially at Clash of Champions, I will be willing to quite happily sit through a title reign with both of these women for that length of time, so that when we do get to September, when we do get to Clash of Champions, that is something worth looking forward to. Definitely. I am hoping that they hold on to the belts for that long. However, probably not going to happen. Charlotte is back in the picture. She decided to turn up to Raw and bitch about the fact that she wasn't at WrestleMania.
And attack them on their rematch, so WrestleMania Backlash will be a triple threat match.
Cool. Charlotte's going to win then.
Should have been. I don't know.
I reckon she's going to win.
There'll be some kind of shenanigans.
Well,
I don't think she'll take the pin. I think it will be Rhea Ripley pinning Asuka again, but which would then lead to a Rhea Ripley Charlotte feud again, which I don't want.
Yeah, I can understand why you wouldn't want that.
Because it was boring the first time.
Yeah, very much so. I just wish they'd sort their shit out with this Charlotte situation. What else can she do at this stage? If she's that big a draw, why does she need a belt?
Because she's a Flair. And she needs to get 17. And that's it.
That's a character, I suppose, is the fact that she's a Flair and a Flair needs a belt. It's a shame. It's a shame because I don't know where else they're going to go with Charlotte other than her being like a 30-time women's champion. Like, I mean, I'm talking end of her career. At what point does Charlotte Flair stop?
How many has she got now?
I think she's a 16-time champion.
Really? Already?
Pretty much, yeah. Charlotte Flair. So she's 35 years old. She has... Let's have a look. Belts. Women's Championship twice. Divas Championship once. Raw Women's Championship 4 times. SmackDown's Women's Championship 5 times. Okay, 12. Yeah, so it's 12 at the moment, actually.
Will she have a face left by the time she gets there?
I fucking hope so, because at the moment she looks like a reanimated puppet of herself. I mean, I don't really want to, but seriously, guys. Look at that. What is with that smile? I mean, I don't mean to face shame someone, but sorry, Charlotte, that is not a good Wikipedia picture.
It's like a face look on a face.
It really does. It looks like the top half is taken from a different picture from the bottom half. Oh, we are just catty. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm no pretty picture myself, right? So yeah, you know, we've got plenty of love for you, Charlotte. But seriously, that is definitely.
I don't think plastic surgery.
What'd you say?
I think plastic surgery is the way.
I don't think it is either. So yeah, and that's really that. Other than
the Gargano way.
The Gargano way. Oh, that was funny. You're funny. You're so funny.
It's not funny.
And that was that match. Do you think it was a good match? Where now for Asuka?
What, Charlotte Flair's face.
Where now for Asuka, do you think?
Yeah, no, it was good. It wasn't as good as Bianca versus Banks, but it was good. I liked it. It was on
alright.
TV.
It was on yeah, and that's the thing. It was an alright match. I enjoyed Rhea Ripley. I'll be interested to see where this goes. I would like to see Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair in a unification match. I think they're good enough to carry that. I don't think it's ever going to happen because one of them or both of them, probably Rhea Ripley, is going to drop the title before then. But I would really look forward to that. But yeah, like a lovely bit of shenanigans there. We're about to talk about the main event here on Jfabe. So before we do, quickly going to remind you that my name is Rich. I am at Not a Time Duke. I am Shmup Yours on Twitch. I do podcasts. I do all sorts. I don't do podcasting. I do podcasting here. I do shmups over there. Jay is at I Am Not a Robot. He is good fun.
I am not a robot.
He is not a robot. At I Am Not a Robot. The O's are replaced with zeros. We're here on Jfabe. Jfabe is up. Or is he a robot? We don't know. He never knows. He just doesn't keep track. There's lots of stuff going off. And of course, Jfabe is available on twitch.tv/Jfabe Wrestling Podcast. It's also available on YouTube. We also have an
damage for invading your dreams.
Anchor.fm/Jfabe. And yeah, you were many different things, Jay, and then you weren't. So lots of interesting things going off there. So now, of course, it's time for our main event. Hey, Jay. How we doing?
Oh, hey, Dad.
Just thought I'd pose Rich. Just thought I'd pose Rich and join you for the main event. Yeah, thought I'd join the main event.
I'm sick again.
What did you say?
Get on the stick again. You know, the sick.
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely come down with ill. So Rich is just on pause.
Oh right.
Yep.
Excellent.
So I'm here on my pirate ship. Got a pirate ship.
Got the hat going off.
Yeah, got a hat going off. I'm a pirate.
Yeah.
I'm a pirate. It's so much fun. Yeah, I'm just here on my ship. It's called the Suplex Machine 2 because because my other ship is a spaceship, because I'm usually a timeduke, but today I'm a pirate. Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm not calling it the tazz bitch. No.
The what, sorry?
The Taz mission bitch.
The Taz mission bitch. I mean, that's one of my favorite moves, so perhaps. Can you guess where I'm ducked, Jay? Guess where I'm ducked.
Is it Florida?
It is Florida. That's exactly where I am. So you win. Jay lives Florida, everybody. Okay, we're done. Where the fuck is Taz? Let's talk about Roman Reigns with Edge and Daniel Bryan. I didn't get a chance to watch this, but I went back in time and went to see it, and ooh, you got
one. Yay!
Exactly. I don't know what's going on with the text there. The text over your name looks like somebody really edited this in a quick kind of moment. So yeah, you got your name appearing twice on the text, and you have to talk to my editing guy.
Yeah, no, I like it, mate. It's all right.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so we've done all of our intros. I'm going to be seeing us out today. Just because I thought I'd join you. I mean, it's WrestleMania. Why wouldn't I join you? Of course I'm going to join you, Jay. So, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Paul Heyman versus Edge and Daniel Bryan in a triple threat match for WWE Universal title. Jay, what are your thoughts?
Best match on the card for the second night, clearly.
Yeah, I'd really like to say that Roman Reigns sucks, but he really doesn't as a hero. Like, he's just really, really good. Isn't he?
He's tearing it up. I'm surprised. He actually got booed, though, or was that just crowd noise? Because I felt like the crowd were actually booing him.
But the crowd were booing him because he's a heel.
I mean, I'd be cheering him at this point.
Yeah, I think that what you're getting kind of a slightly kind of male pop. Do you know like when Austin was starting to bubble under, or when I was a heel, and like my steadfast loving fans were just like, we're gonna cheer him anyway because it's Taz and Rupee Doo, he's awesome. Do you remember that? Jay? It was a thing.
I do.
Where's the thing? Yeah, so he's getting
Was that after you went through the ramp of Bam Bam Bigelow? Is that what happened?
Oh my God! They stole my spot. Did you see? They stole my spot.
Yes.
On Stand and Deliver. They totally stole my spot. Like, I was almost angry, but then I was kind of like hungry, and then I decided to use my time machine to travel back to Woolworths and get a pick and mix. No, I'm on the Woolworths. Yeah, I'm on the Woolworths pick and mix diet now. So yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. I'm fine, Jay.
It's pure sugar.
Really, really good. Got a time machine. It works. It works. Yeah. It really is. It really is. I mean, it's not like my time machine broke or anything, and I am stuck going between like 1988 and now, which is the end of the universe, and those are the only two times I can go to. So I've kind of got addicted to Woolworths Pick and Mix. It's nothing like that. That's not what's happening. It's just when yeah.
Everything's still perfect here. Perfect.
Everything. Oh. Awesome. You enjoying it? Oh, that's so good. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy you finally found what you needed, Jay. I'm so pleased. It's awesome. I was so worried after what happened in the Jfabe in Mexico episode, and you got shot by Jacob Fabian. I'm just so happy that's now a thing in the past, and it was just a storyline, and you're not dying anymore. Okay. Roman Reigns versus Edge and Daniel Bryan. What were your favorite spots in this match, Jay?
Taste of dying on earth.
Oh,
it.
matey, I'm a pirate. Okay. Sherry, just a second. Compose yourself.
All right there, Taz.
Yeah, everything's fine. So, what did you think to this match? What were your favourite spots, Jay?
Right. Really enjoyed the spear out of nowhere that no one saw coming off the stairs. That was good.
Yeah, that was
I
pretty
like
good.
Jay's involvement as well at the start. You figured it was going to be a quick match, but no, it went on forever.
Yeah, Jay Uso.
Yeah, so
Jay Uso is really quite something. What happened to the
kicking over
other
nuts.
Uso? Weren't there like two of them, or have they just combined?
They don't need
They just don't need him.
No, they can't combine people in this universe. So
Oh,
he's just on the sidelines right now. I think he's injured.
that's ew. Can't combine people. That's weird. What do they do when they want to like make a clone? Like that time where I became Tessie the Body Ventura. Tessie the Body Ventura's. Oh, it was like season 28.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. We totally haven't got there yet.
Oh God. Oh, it happened so young. Sorry. Yeah. So Roman Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan.
Right.
What were your thoughts about Daniel Bryan? I mean, was he? Because I kind of like
as
this.
a whole.
Yeah, I kind of like the symmetry.
All three of them really met well together with their styles. Even though two of them had spear and they did the colliding thing, which was okay. But I really enjoyed the crossface with the label lock on Roman Reigns. That was pretty cool.
I really like the symmetry.
At one point, you thought you maybe like a double submission.
Yeah. I really like the symmetry and the storytelling.
You had at any given point, any three of them could actually win as well. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. And that was kind of cool as well because any three of them could have won. But I think I really like the symmetry here of you have Edge, who obviously retired for his neck problems, then came back. You have Bryan, who did exactly the same thing 3 years' time. You have Roman Reigns, who both of these...
Leukemia.
Well, yeah, and both Edge and Daniel Bryan have both occupied the same spot that he is now in. Like, both of them have. So you've got a nice kind of three-way symmetry going on there. And then to add to that, you've got the dichotomy of both Edge and Roman Reigns sharing a spear. And Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan have primarily strike-based finishing moves or strike-based signature moves. So... There is a lot of symmetry going on there in regards to position in the company, as well as billing within the company, as well as obviously the different injuries that they've had and sustained over time. I thought that this story was really good and really well told because you had these three men who were effectively the same person at different points in their life, telling this story. Or at different points in a similar journey, at least, and I thought that was really, really quite poetic, and yeah, really liked it.
Where did you find time to watch this, Taz?
It's really weird, but like, I've found I've had a lot of time recently, like a lot of time to reflect and watch everything that ever happened. Just ever.
In the whole universe ever.
Like, yeah. I've got a lot of time on my hands, because obviously I'm managing everything and making sure that everything works so well for you, and it just all comes together quite nicely, and just making sure that you're okay, because you got to be okay, Jay. You got to be okay. You're gonna get through this perfection. So, how many stars would you give it? It was like 21 minutes and 40 seconds.
Right.
What? Yeah, you don't die, Jay. You don't die. You'd never die.
How many stars will I give this? Well,
Yeah.
if you're on the Dave. Okay, on the Dave Meltzer scale, I would place this in. I would give it a 9 out of 5. 9 or
9 out
9
of
out of
5.
5. I
9
think
out
that's
of 5. Yeah, no, I remember there were
average style, but,
various
you know,
various matches have got 9 out of 5 in the past, of course. You may remember the match between, for instance, the cryogenically frozen body of The Undertaker coming back to life, and of course Shigarth. That was a classic. WrestleMania 300. And of course, son of John Cena. That time that he decided to fight a clone of King Kong, that was also a 9-star match on the Dave Meltzer scale. So all in all, yeah, no, great matches.
yeah, totally remember those ones. I've totally been to the future.
Yeah, you've been to the future. You were there. You will remember them. Yeah, you remember them. Okay, so that's the end of the show. Unless you got anything else to say, Jay.
Where the fuck is Rich?
No, we're not doing another Where the Fuck Is game. That's I've got a lock on that. But I'm going to guess Delaware. Well, that's that mystery. That's that mystery solved. It's a mystery that's solved. Where's the music? We're gotta find the music. To know where the music. Oh, there's some music. That'll do. Something uplifting. Gonna find something uplifting. Just gonna wait for YouTube to find something uplifting for me. So, well, it does it. No, everything's going to be fine, Jay. Everything's going to be fine. Rich is cool. It's not that he's run out of charge. It's not that there's a limited amount of energy, so I can only switch certain things on at certain times of the day. It's nothing like that. There's plenty of energy. We're not running out of anything. Nobody's losing anything. It's all very, very good. And on that note, I'm just going to say that you need to subscribe to us on anchor.fm/Jfabe. What you also need to do is get in contact with Jay. He is at I am not a robot on Twitter. The O's are replaced with zeros. I myself am at timeduke tazz. You can contact Rich. Rich is available at, I can't remember where he is. Jay, I can't hear you anymore. Your microphone seems to have stopped. Jay?
Oh, I'm still here.
Oh, there he is. There's Jay.
White bubble.
I mean, it's perfect there, is it not? You know?
Yeah.
Nothing there
Nothing
to
ever
bother
happens
you?
here.
Okay, that's good.
No, nothing.
Thank you guys for joining us here on Jfabe on Twitch TV. Jay is, of course, contactable at his Twitter. I am contactable here. Rich occasionally comes alive, and he likes to talk to you on his Twitter. That is at...
It comes alive. Excellent.
Well, it's like life. It's as close to life as we can get now.
I am not a robot, and the robot has zeros in it, but not in not.
Indeed. Not a time duke, that's Rich. And of course, you can catch us on YouTube. Next week, we are going to be back talking about AEW. Rich may appear for that. We may see if we can get anybody else's chips out of the old recycle bin at the back of the shed. We've got a little recycling place that's going to sort it all out and give us some new personalities to play with. Jay would really love them in the endless white void that he exists in now. Yeah, it's okay. I keep programming experiences into him, and it works really, really well. We're glad you joined us for this WrestleMania weekend. This has been Jfabe. I'm timeduke tazz. He's Jay.
I'm definitely Jay.
He's definitely Jay. He is definitely Jay.
I'm not dead.
And
Bye, everybody.
Bye. I'm so alone.
Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye, everybody. Bye, Taz.
Bye.
Fun, Taz. Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
We're so happy.